What's going on, people? I am your host, Will. This week for the Marvelite podcast is episode 117. And with me, I have my regular co-host, Luke. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good, dude. How are you doing?
I'm doing alright. I have midterms this week that I gotta work on. And
you brave soul.
And spring break next week. But luckily, they're online. So, you know,
are you doing it? Are you going to do anything fun for spring break?
I'm going home, and I think I'm going to make a cake. Fox is apparently working on making more secret, quote, Marvel movies, starting with a Silver Surfer movie, and they're working with one of my favorite writers, Brian K. Vaughan, and this just hurts me.
Okay, so here's my open letter to Fox.
Oh, no. It begins.
No, it's not really that long-winded. I'm just going to say, Fox, I don't know what you're hoping to achieve here, because what it seems like you're doing is, after the deal had been made with Disney, now, you know, again, we all know that the acquisition has went through. They bought Fox, or Disney bought Fox, excuse me, but officially, legally, it hasn't gone through yet, so Fox is still operating, you know, as normal, as if nothing ever happened. And so what you're doing, though, you know, by just ignoring that big factor that, you know, you're essentially bought out, is you are wasting a lot of time and money and talent, to be honest with you. I think that they should, you know, and I've said this many times before, you should just finish up your current projects, and release them, obviously, get your money out of it. But in terms of, you know, writing, storyboarding, you know, casting, all of those things for movies and films that probably aren't going to happen, especially Silver Surfer of all things. I mean, this is like, it is a wet dream for Marvel and Disney and the folks over at Marvel Studios, specifically Kevin Feige, to have Silver Surfer and the rest of the Cosmic Group, you know, along with Fantastic Four, Galactus,
the Cosmic Crew.
It is their absolute dream to have those characters, and I really don't think that they're going to allow such a thing to happen. And the fact,
I don't even think it's not even Kevin Feige. It's the higher ups, because they're the ones that would end up having the final say about that.
I mean, not according to reports. According to reports, they're leaving most of the stuff in terms of comic book characters up to Kevin Feige. Like the fate of characters. Now, you know, as of right now, I don't think that that's, you know, happening as of yet. I don't think Kevin has any creative control yet. But I do think,
that's why I said what I said.
Usually where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's definitely smoke over at Marvel Studios and Disney. So I don't think that, you know, they're necessarily going to let, you know, Fox continue to make films under their banner. I think that, you know, they want to reboot. They want to have these characters, you know, as their own. And I love Brian K. Vaughan. He is such a fantastic writer. He has written some of my favorite comic books of all time. I mean, just go read... I'm not even talking about newer books like Saga. Go read Why the Last Man. That is actually, to this day, one of my favorite forms of media in the comic book world.
Granted, if you like regular, normal books, Saga is like a really fine jumping off place. I still really like Saga, no matter how casual it is, but I've heard it's kind of plateaued as of late.
Saga's a really good book to get into, but I don't think, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, it's a good starting point for comic books. I really don't think so, because as good of a story as, you know, it is, it's also, like, I've seen people pick up that book and look at the artwork and say, what the hell is this, and then put it back down.
Really? I'm fine with the art.
Well, it's because it has a lot of, you know, obscurities in it, and so people...
Fair.
You know, like, I've literally seen people in the comic book shop be turned off by that and just put it back down and say, you know, ill. Like, it's beautiful artwork, but I think that Saga's probably not the best place to start. If you're going to
back to Fox.
Well, I'm kind of tying this all in together, but so I think that, you know, Brian K. Vaughan would honestly better serve writing for a Marvel Studios film than he would making a Silver Surfer Fox film. And
which, granted, he was EP on Runaways, and he had it seemed like he had a pretty good amount of influence and input during that run, which, it's a solid show, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, Runaways is pretty good, but, wait, I don't think he had anything to do with the show, did he?
I think he was an executive producer and a consultant.
Fair enough. But no, I just don't think that it will be feasible, or it will be very savvy of them to go forward with these films like a Kitty Pryde film and, Silver Surfer, X-Force, all this other stuff. I just outside of Deadpool, I can't find a justification for any of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, no, Deadpool and X-Force and New Mutants is getting reshoots, by the way. That's another piece of Fox news, and they're apparently adding another character. So that's just a thing that's happening. But in terms of Fox going forward with, quote, secret Marvel movies, I understand that you have to operate as if nothing is going on, really. Because you don't really know the fate. You don't know if Disney's going to use your properties or not, despite everyone wanting them to. Not everybody. There are people that don't want them to, have those characters. And that's fine, too. And that's all well and good. But I feel like if you don't do this as an affront to you, trying to rebel against Disney. Don't do it because of that. Do it because it's we have a good idea for a movie that can stand on its own and be a strong comic book movie that will get us good money.
Exactly.
Do it for the reason that you're making a film, to make money and to tell a good story with some characters. I don't think it's a good idea if you're doing this purely to get back at them for buying you for some weird reason. And I don't know if that's any of the reasoning for doing that. This could all just be purely happenstance and coincidental, and that's fine. But at the same time, it'd just be like you say, it'd be a waste of time and money if they're doing this just to be petty. You don't really get anything from that. And I'm
and
honestly, if you want to do different universes with different characters, that's all well and good. It's just know that you have a lot of characters that people really want to see done in not necessarily a purist format. Some people are going to be I want to see a Fantastic Four movie with my family, and I want to see him hang out with Tony Stark and Shuri and Doctor Strange and all these other characters.
I don't even want that out of a Fantastic Four film.
I know, I'm saying some people might, but
I want them, honestly, realistically, I would love for a, Fantastic Four film to take place in space. Sort of Guardian of the Galaxy-esque style, but not necessarily with that, not the demeanor and tone that those two films had. I mean more specifically.
Make it like Lost in Space, but Marvel.
No, exactly. Honestly, I would write a very serious sci-fi film is what I would write. With obviously that sort of, sitcom, home life sort of style that the four of them sort of have together. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I would write it.
A serious film with the focus on the family dynamic.
Exactly. I wouldn't write a space opera. It would be a hard sci-fi.
Yeah, which is be a nice take. When then you get those Jack Kirby visuals in there and make it weird.